Top 10 Best Places to Visit in Europe. From the majestic Alps to the picturesque Mediterranean coastline, Europe offers an array of breathtaking places that will leave you awe-inspired. Whether you're a history buff, a nature lover, or a food enthusiast, Europe has something extraordinary in store for you. In this video, we will discuss about top 10 must-visit destinations in Europe, each with its unique charm and allure. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel, Top 10 Travel. 1. San Sebastian, Spain. San Sebastian is wonderful at any time, but there used to be a gnawing sense that the hotel scene didn't quite live up to the quality of the Pinso bars and the Michelin temples like Arzec and Mugaritz. That's changed in recent years, though, with arrivals like Villa Soro, a heritage summer house on the edge of town, from the lauded team behind Mallorca's Sant Francesc and Can Ferrerita and Villa Favorita, the smart 23-room townhouse offshoot of the iconic Hotel de Londres, overlooking La Concha Beach. There's a growing vibe away from the beach and the stone streets of the Part Vieja, too. In the once-neglected central area, a cool new locavore scene is building, from the Mon Grill Bar in the San Martin Produce Market to Neru, where chef Ejigo Pita serves radically stripped-down Basque Cocina de Producto in the urban minimalist Arbaso Hotel. 2. Mallorca, Spain. The Mallorcan summer is always big, and this year the needle will be pointing towards the rugged Tramontana Mountains to the west of Palma, with a trio of big Mallorca hotel openings in relatively remote locations. First up is Sunnet, an art-filled mansion on a 17th-century estate in the Tramontana foothills, which will be opened this spring by the same team behind the legendary Finca Cortesan in Andalusia. Not far away, the 24-room Lodge by Unico also opens soon. A cool 24-suite restored finca with infinity-edge pool on a 157-hectare farm dotted with carob and ancient olive trees, and a follow-up to Finca Serena, another lovely addition to the Mallorcan interior. And in June, the 26-room Sun Bunyola Hotel is set to open in a restored 16th-century house on Richard Branson's 1,000-acre Sun Bunyola estate, which is already home to 3 rentable villas. 3. Slovenia. It's somewhat mind-boggling that Slovenia, tucked between old favorites Italy and Croatia, hasn't been overrun already. After all, its turquoise rivers, glacier-fed lakes, and soaring, snow-capped peaks are pretty enough to make even Seen It All Sorts Week at the knees. The country's most famous landmark, Lake Bled, is more peaceful than any of Europe's better-known lakes. But for now, at least, it remains blissfully unbusy, a place of wide-open spaces, splendid solace, and restoratively pristine air. 4. The Azores. With the possible exception of Iceland, nowhere in Europe does geological drama quite like the Azores, the Hawaii of the mid-Atlantic, with densely forested islands fringed by craggy cliffs that seem to rise out of the nothingness like giant green knees from a primordial bath. The archipelago, 950 miles from the coast of parent country Portugal, is a place of volcanic craters, sulfuric hot springs, breaching whales, and surf breaks overlooked by epic stacks. The archipelago of biospheres and marine reserves has also been a quiet paragon of sustainable tourism, a sort of European answer to Costa Rica. There are ferries and small planes to islands such as Faial, Pico, and São Jorge, but most of the action happens on São Miguel, which is well stocked with good places to stay. The classic doubleheader is to spend a few nights each at 2 sister hotels, the Azor, with crisp mod boutique geometry, and a rooftop pool overlooking the harbor in the main town of Ponta Delgada, and the Furnace Boutique Hotel up in the mud-bubbling volcanic center of the island, where the star of the show is the Blackstone, Japanese-style thermal pool. 5. Dubrovnik and around Croatia. Dubrovnik may be a little overrun with Game of Thrones tourists, but there's always been a certain magic to this limestone citadel on the Adriatic. And what's often forgotten is what a great starting point it is for a proper adventure. To the south, it's less than an hour's drive past the sleepy harbor towns of the Dubrovnik Riviera to Montenegro, a country which has gradually been rediscovering its post-war mojo, especially with the upcoming arrival of a biophilic modernist hotel from Janu, a man's new younger sister brand. To the north, it's less than 3 hours to Mostar, an exquisite Bosnian town of Ferilit, millhouse restaurants, and Ottoman stone bridges, not far from the Kravis waterfalls, with a turquoise swimmable lagoon surrounded by Niagara-like falls. 6. Skane, Sweden. Sweden's southernmost county rarely gets the coverage it deserves, in large part because so much buzz is drawn across the Öresund Bridge from Malmö to Copenhagen. But Skane is well worth exploring, from the patchwork charm of the city to the lakes, wineries, and Nantucket-esque clapboard coastal towns of the fertile countryside, often referred to as Sweden's larder. Malmö has many of the things going for it that have put Copenhagen and Amsterdam on every most livable list going. Young, bikeable, street with canals and concrete coffee joints, but also home to a beautifully preserved Dutch Renaissance old town. Yet it remains more mixed than the defiantly tasteful Danish city across the water, especially in areas such as Møllevængen, an arty, multicultural part of town known to locals as Falafel City. 7. Salento, Italy. For a real Italian escape in 2021, we'll be heading all the way to the bottom of its heel. Frequently shorthanded as the country's answer to Cornwall, on its own hot frequency, the Salento region offers a rough-cut version of the best of Italy. From the almost Caribbean west coast to the plunging cliffs of the west coast, from Brindisi down to southernmost Santa Maria di Luca, via the Baroque fantasy of Lex, all gargoyles, and limestone columns. This is a dry, ochre-hued land of olive groves and cliff-jumping kids, too languid to have much of a scene. The cuisine povera tends to be homely and unfussy. Take the surprisingly wonderful nunneretti, or lamb offal rolls, served in the walled garden at a Casa tu Martinu in Taviano, or the grilled bream at Lo Scalo, built into the cliffs at Marina di Novagli, and run by the Longo family for half a century. 8. Timisoara, Romania. This western Romanian city is often referred to as Little Vienna, with its grand Habsburg secessionist buildings and circular city center. In truth, it's not as glossily refined as the Austrian capital, but really that's the point. Even in its grand center, the first place in Europe to have electric street lights, Timisoara doesn't feel like a tourist trap. And like other Romanian cities, including Cluj-Napoca and Sibiu, there's a palpable sense of youthful optimism in this student town. Many of the city's establishments have the feel of someone's living room, such as Skart Lockleger, a bric-a-brac bar owned by an artist collective, with an overgrown garden, an adjoining theater, and a museum of communist consumerism in the basement. Elsewhere, there are jumping club nights at Underground Database and jam sessions at the graffitied Alternative Cafe, with faint echoes of early 90s Berlin. 9. Chania, Crete, Greece. While its Ottoman-influenced harbor and spaghetti bowl of cobblestone streets are delicately beautiful, Chania is packing a real punch when it comes to its food. From simple seaside cafes to exquisite Cretan fine dining, this city on the northwest coast of the Greek island has a select but quickly expanding scene that's luring in expert palates. 10. El Hierro, the Canary Islands. Shrugging off the archipelago's unwarranted package holiday reputation, the lesser-known Canary Islands are stepping into the spotlight. The sun-blasted Spanish chain off Africa's Atlantic coast, a network of black, white, and butter gold beaches, is home to awe-inspiring landscapes, from lush banana plantations to laurel forests. But instead of busy Gran Canaria and touristy Tenerife, it's the smaller, more characterful spots that are rising to claim the Canaries' must-visit mantle. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe my channel, Top 10 Travel. Thank you for watching.